Do you think Donald Trump, when he was convicted on all 34 counts, what did you think about that? Because I was.
Doesn't mean, Matt, and none of those 34 counts is worthless. You got a worthless case. You got a case from the FEC.
Why is it worthless?
It's worthless because there was no crime that was committed.
Falsifying business records with the intent of covering up another crime.
But
Michael Cohen went.
That's what they said. That's what you say.
That's what the jury said. The jury handpicked by Donald Trump's lawyers.
I know exactly what you're all about right now. You're not an independent journalist. You're nothing but a Trump hater, and you're out here trying to get everybody to be tripped up. Let me ask you a question. Who thinks these 34 indictments are worth a piece of crap?
You know what it is.
They all trying to interview them. They're all worthless. You know that. You know that. You know that. You know that.
What, the 34?
The 34 indictments are worthless.
You're saying that our entire. Wait, let me finish.
It comes down to one question. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have Joe Biden in the White House for another 4 years?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
President Biden's going to.
Interview over. Interview over.
Okay.
I don't want to talk to anybody that has any. You have zero common sense.
You're undermining our entire justice system when you say this jury.
Your ability to elect the next president that's competent.
I'm sorry, I don't want the dude that made his supporters attack the Capitol. I don't want the dude that
made the supporters attack the Capitol.
His rhetoric directly.
He said peacefully walk to the Capitol.
He said fight. He said Mike Pence didn't do
Don't me again, but don't touch me. Don't touch me, my dog.
Dude,
don't touch me.
You're getting in front of our way.
Don't touch me out here. I'm just telling you that. I got a question. Don't touch me, my boy. Don't do that. If you worried about 34, you're gonna worry about 34 ass whoopings in a minute, boy.
Don't follow that rally. Don't bring that bullshit over here. Don't bring that bullshit over.
Now, I figured Trump's felony conviction would send MAGA into a tizzy, but I didn't expect them to reach crisis levels of panic where they'd resort to threatening Adam Mockler for asking questions that they're too embarrassed to answer. And ironically, Brian Glenn denies Trump sent his bloodthirsty sycophants to the Capitol to attack. That happened right after resorting to asking for his own losers to jump in while he's getting his ass handed to him. Having the word felon rightfully associated with Trump is really driving them crazy.
She shouldn't be allowed to run. Okay, she shouldn't. And I'm not talking about what happened last Friday. I'm talking about right now. She shouldn't be allowed to run. They're also conducting a second criminal investigation into Hillary's illegal pay-for-play corruption at the State Department. There's virtually no doubt that FBI Director Comey and the great special agents of the FBI will be able to collect more than enough evidence to garner indictments against Hillary Clinton and her inner circle, despite her efforts to disparage them and to discredit them. If she were to win this election, it would create an unprecedented constitutional crisis. In that situation, we could very well have a sitting president under felony indictment and ultimately a criminal trial. It would grind government to a halt.
They probably don't want ironic videos like that to keep circulating of Trump daydreaming about jailing his political enemies while he was hiding his own felonious behavior. I mean, the first and only question should be, were you lying then or are you lying now when you say that a presidential candidate with a felony conviction shouldn't be allowed to run? They don't know what to do with themselves now that Donnie is part of the criminal justice system that he always used to disparage others.
There's so many times you can lie to somebody before they just stop believing you. And I actually think ultimately it will do great justice for this country. I think my father will go down, maybe his greatest accomplishment, all right, will actually be kind of the unvarnished honesty that he's, really taken toward the whole system. The fact that he was able to take this system in Washington, D.C. that's existed for a long time and really kind of, really pull the rug out from under it and expose it for what it is, expose these people for what it is, expose the games for what it is.
The Trumps aren't used to people not believing their BS just because they say it, but Eric keeps on trying.
But I promise you, she wakes up in the morning thinking about this. She goes to bed at night thinking about that very problem, and they are all over it, knowing that it's an inevitability of that party. It's just, I hate to say it. I wish I didn't say this, but it's who they are. It's what they do if they cheat.
This isn't the heroic picture that he thinks he's painting, where his wife, who was placed in leadership of the RNC to make sure it solely works for her father-in-law, is obsessive about the fact that they lost the last election. It makes them look like a bunch of whiny, sore losers that can't take an L without trying to set the country on fire over it. These are the strong people that their followers admire. It's like needing this wannabe tough guy to come save you from questions again.
You know that.
Yo, move on.
You know that. You know that.
Attack the Capitol. I don't want the dude
The
that
supporters attack the Capitol.
his rhetoric directly.
He said peacefully walk to the Capitol.
He said fight. He said Mike Pence didn't do
Don't me
it.
again, but don't touch me. Don't touch me, my dog.
Dude,
don't touch me.
You're getting in front of my
Don't
way.
touch me out here. I'm just telling you that. I got a question. Don't touch me, my boy. Don't do that.
If you
worried about 34, you gonna worry about 34 ass whoopings in a minute, boy.
That guy probably goes home after cosplaying a hip-hop artist every day to think up another song about a new way to kiss Donald Trump's ass. But he's a tough guy that takes selfies of his heated confrontation with Adam Mockler. If we could stop for a second and recognize the high level of clownish behavior that the MAGA movement is showing the country, we can avoid being duped into thinking that this is anything more than a desperate movement being exposed.
I had 63 million. I was told that if I get 63 million, we win easily. That there's no way. John McLaughlin told me. A lot of people told me that. But when they rig it or cheat, there's not a lot you're going to do about that other than you have to stop it. Now we have to stop it second time.
Stop it a second time. Number one, you tried to stop it before, but resorted to violence after you failed. And number two, the attempts to stop it should have ended after more than 60 court challenges were ruled to have been baseless, with some even withdrawn by your own attorneys. They won't tell you that part because it would weaken the patriot fantasy that they're pretending to live. But then again, the hurdle that they can't clear is the fact that their guy is a felon, no matter how much they try to spin it as a positive.
Listen, Hunter Biden is not on the ballot. Joe Biden is on the ballot and Donald Trump is on the ballot. One of those individuals, as we know, is a convicted felon. The other is not. And that's going to be the process that plays out in the next 5 months for the American people to decide.
You made that argument so eloquently. This is a man, Joe Biden, who likes to say the words convicted felon a lot.
It's true.
That can be problematic.
Fox News can hope that Hunter's conviction will do the work that dishonest House Republicans couldn't. But the thing that they can't run from is how regular thinking Americans seem to be reacting to Trump's criminality.
There's been a trend since the May 30th guilty verdict in the New York case. So Biden has had numbers that have been moving up a little bit under women and seniors. He's still underperforming among women. Trump is doing well among black, Hispanic, and young compared to previous Republican campaigns and his own. But you're right. Absolutely, the movement is among independents, and they have moved in recent polls roughly 9 points towards Biden. 21% of independents in a survey shortly after the conviction said that they would be less likely to vote for Donald Trump as a result of the conviction.
If you can't deal with the consequences, criminally or politically, don't break the law. It's a pretty simple rule that Trump doesn't expect to have to live by, which ironically might be turning off even more people that are watching him completely denigrate the judicial system that he once praised. His completely unearned ego has him so far from normal thinking Americans, he's just teeing up opponents to just point out all the horrible things that he's done and continues to do.
Donald Trump is a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist, and a congenital liar. He's a racist, sexist, misogynistic narcissist who wants to use the levers of power to enrich himself and punish anyone who dares speak a word against him. He has stolen state secrets, compromised our national security, betrayed our Constitution, and sacrificed the truth to further his own naked ambition. When Trump comes to Milwaukee for the Republican convention, he'll cast blame on others for his own misdeeds. He'll claim credit for things that he never touched. He'll lie and he'll ramble.